trying a new recipe that my mom told me about with lavender and peppermint. It was extremely good. So cheers. So let's start because we have a full report ahead. Is definitely going to be very interesting today. Today is the 20th episode of the Tea Time with Brian. And things are starting to heat up at the legislative session. I would have liked to said that it was going to be for the positive, but unfortunately it is for the negative. These are a lot of these bills are targeting voters and voter rights. So let me just kind of give you a quick rundown. But definitely one of the things that we've noticed is the fact that a lot of the bills that they are moving to eliminate that have been introduced on the Senate as well as in the House are to eliminate no excuse absentee voting, which prior to this for about 10 plus years there has not been a problem. Ban ballot drop boxes, add needlessly strict ID requirements for absentee voting, as well as undermine nonprofits' rights to be involved in the democratic process. And I'll tell you why in a second, but definitely, we knew that there was a plan to get a lot of these on place, but we didn't know it was going to be this sweeping. So we're definitely concerned, and we definitely want to keep you updated to make sure that you are contacting your elected officials and letting them know that they should vote no for these bills. They should let us vote, let the people vote. So definitely tell you now some of the ones that have that are different in addition to the ones that I've told you guys last week. Specifically, the ones that I am definitely the most concerned about is SB 67. This one specifically is for photo ID for absentee ballots. This is similarly to Senate Bill 29 that I told you yesterday. I'm sorry, that I told you last week. So definitely this is one that we want to make sure that we are keeping an eye on it. This one, has a bigger higher chance of passing. So we want to make sure, because it's already been appointed to a committee. And this definitely would for my college students out there, this would definitely disproportionately affect the college students, because you couldn't use your college ID like so many of our followers have in the past to go out and vote in their precinct. So definitely very interesting. Some of the other ones that we are definitely watching are HB 227, which is the companion piece of SB 67, which I told you about just now. Of course, HB 229, which is the non-citizen scarlet letter. That one definitely needs a little bit more. I'll tell you more as it progresses, but that is definitely something that for a lot of our, undocumented, as well as, just mixed status families, we want to make sure that we keep them updated with this bill. Another one that is definitely very concerning was House Bill 250, which is going to limit early voting locations. This is definitely one that it makes you kind of think like, why would you want to limit that? Like, make it more available for the person that you could go early voting, because we've seen time and time again, not only in November, but we saw it in January, the amount of people that actually went out and voted early voting. So it makes no sense as to why you would limit that. But definitely that is another one that we are seeing it. Then there's, of course, this is crazy because it goes from like 67 to 74. So it's just back to back to back. This was SB 74, just poll watchers, get to watch everything. And this one is just concerning because of the fact that their security as well as privacy of voters is definitely going to be, it's a little bit iffy. SB 73, which is, no one can send out, I'm sure you probably received absentee ballots applications, for you to request your absentee ballot. And apparently they want to make sure that that is illegal, which makes no sense because that is something that is easily accessible and it just makes it more convenient for the voter. And, they want to make sure that nobody but the Secretary of State does it. Crazy. SB 72 is definitely to where this is very concerning because, as we know, a lot of counties outside of the metro area don't have the manpower to be able to always update the rolls of dead people, and that's exactly what SB 72 wants to do, to where they get a monthly list where they update dead people. This is just one of those things that is like definitely a waste of time because it not going to be possible for a lot of counties that they themselves don't already have the funding because it's not provided to them. So it's just going to be one of those that it's like, why is this being done? SB 71, which is the one of, once again, that I told you most concerning, is because they want to get rid of no excuse absentee ballots. And it's convenient because it's like, for 10 plus years, there has been no problem with absentee voting, but now there's a problem. So like, what's going on? Like, so, oh, good old Georgia. So, definitely another one, I'll definitely keep you updating on specifically those 8, but, I'll tell you more about the other 2, specifically SB 69, and this one, it just takes the cake. Normally now, if you are a new Georgia resident, or if you're, let's say, you just turned 18, and you go get your license, you get registered automatically through the DDS or DMV, Department of Driver Services or the Department of Motor Vehicles. You get automatically register, and now they want to remove that to where you would have to opt in, which is one of those things like, why are y'all making it more difficult for people to get registered to vote? It's neither here nor there, but let me not go off into a tangent, but definitely very interesting. And of course, SB 68, which I told you about, is going to be prohibiting ballot drop boxes. It's another one that we've heard through the rumblings about requiring precinct name. And it's just going to be, it makes you concerned because it's one of those things that is like, we want to make sure that absentee voting is not cut by a thousand cuts, in a sense of meaning that they want to, of course, make it available for some people, but make it harder for others. So we want to make sure that, the voting process is easy and accessible to all. We would definitely keep you updated. And, now that you are hearing these, you might ask yourself, it's like, how can I get involved? How can I make sure that, my legislative officials as well as my elected officials, at the Capitol know that I don't want this? You can definitely call them at the end of the live stream. I will make sure to put in the comments below how you can find out who your legislator for both the House and the Senate is. And you can call them or text, call their office or email them, which is a great way for you to start kind of getting in the swing of things. And you can tell them, hello, my name is so-and-so, I believe that our democracy depends on all Georgians having a voice. And that can happen if our legislators are attempting to roll back the right to vote. Please vote against the slate of dangerous voter suppression bills that were introduced. So that's just a standard, to the point message that I recommend you use. If you want to, I could, you could make it to where it's more of your voice, make it more to where you're talking about like where you're from, what district you're in and all that good stuff. So definitely, we want to make sure that you are being involved in every single way that you can, and let them know that you are paying attention and that this will not pass if it's crazy that we are even talking about taking back, voting rights, in the sense of like making it more difficult for others to do it, when it should be the total opposite. But it's just, I think that we've gotten to the point where even though there's proof of time and time again that there was no problems with the November or January election, some elected officials are just kind of giving into conspiracies, and we definitely denounce that. Is unfortunately, because them giving into these conspiracy will not only affect their district but the whole entire Georgia. This is something that we will not allow, and we will make sure that we are keeping you up to date to make sure that you are calling them and holding them accountable, because this will not be tolerated. Another thing that I definitely wanted to tell you guys about is the fact that, I always do my little Rona news, and I definitely want to tell you that, for my Augusta people, please, please, please be careful out there, because even though we have seen a decrease in numbers in the Augusta area, there has been an increase in the ICUs. So we want to make sure that you guys are careful. So all my people in Richmond County, as well as Burke or Columbia, be careful. This is definitely still going on, even though a lot of us are tired, and trust me, we're tired. We want to be free from this. I think that be mindful that this is still very pressing. This is still very real. So make sure that you are careful. Do not bring it home. So please be mindful that the numbers of the ICUs in the Augusta area are increasing. The White House was the one that put it out, the advice that to be mindful of that. This is very concerning, but we'll definitely keep a close eye on that. Yeah, and that's another thing why it's very interesting, why we want to keep you updated as well, like I told you last week, about the professors wanting to get vaccinated, because even though we want to make sure that our communities, especially Black and brown kids, are being involved, back in school, we want to make sure that they are safe, because that's the only way that we can make sure that our kids are not losing a year. And we definitely is going to be very interesting. So yeah, that's I think that that's definitely going to cover a lot of what we're telling you about today. Is definitely very interesting with everything going on. I think that I myself miss being at the Capitol, but I think that we want to make sure that a lot of these bills, a lot of you may or may not know, they're going to now be assigned to committee after they pass rules and all that good stuff. So definitely we want to make sure that you guys are, keep you in every single track. Hello, can you translate into Spanish for me, please? Yeah, definitely I can give you the whole thing, or just the certain part of the live stream. I'm answering the question for one of our users. Thank you for joining us. And yeah, I can definitely have a version totally in Spanish. But definitely if that is something that you think you would like to see, I can definitely make that happen. But once again, thank you for joining us. Please make sure that, to look out for the comment at the end of this live stream telling you about how to contact your legislative officials. That is some of the things that we are watching. And of course, I wanted to end on a good note. We started with February is Black Heritage Month, so we want to make sure that we are being mindful that the culture moves with Black people, the culture moves with Black folks, so we want to make sure that we definitely give them a shout out. And like we mentioned in our profiles, social media profiles, we, even though we're going to take this time every week to mention a famous person, today we want to just give it up for those people that have contributed and they have not been recognized. I feel like a lot of times great additions or great contributions might go under the wraps and might not be highlighted. So definitely we want to make sure that you take the time to thank a fellow Black person for their contribution to this country, because this country's vibrancy definitely starts from a lot of our African American brothers and sisters. So definitely thank you for that. It's definitely very interesting, especially being here in Georgia. Time and time again we've seen that Black folks, they definitely are what make the city such a bright, vibrant one here in Atlanta. So thank you once again for joining us. It is a pleasure that you guys have joined me every single week. So we would come back to you next week on Wednesday. So have a great rest of your day, and keep an eye out for any call to actions that we might have for you. But just so you know, definitely keep an eye out for that, because we want to make sure that that bill gets stopped in its tracks. So thank you so much, and have a great rest of your day. Thank you. Bye bye. Ciao.